What took you an embarrassing amount of time to figure out? My French press. I owned one 9 months before I realized the coffee grounds go under the plunger and not on top of it. I was always so annoyed having to clean the top of the plunger after lowering the coffee into the water. My girlfriend stared at me like I was the stupidest person she'd ever met, trying to formulate how to politely fix this. When I was a kid back in the early 90s, I was obsessed with WWF wrestling. It didn't hit me until years later that the Undertaker's manager's name, Paul Bearer, wasn't his real name. That chickens always lay eggs without needing to mate with a rooster. Before my cataract surgery, I thought Hellboy wore aviator goggles. Post-surgery, I saw they were remnants of his horns. When I was growing up, the family would often do road trips to Vancouver. At least once a year. Just outside Williams Lake, I would always observe a construction site where some sort of log house is being built. It was always half finished. After like a decade, I was maybe 18 and finally made the comment about them still building that place. Apparently, they build custom log homes on site and disassemble and ship them out. That the trough in a porta potty is for the guy to pee in. I said to my dad one day, "How are you supposed to wash your hands in that sink with no water?" He stood there as shocked disbelief as he explained to me that is where you are to pee. I was probably around 18 when this happened. In Lady and the Tramp, the humans are called Jim, Dear and Darling. I was in my 30s before I realized that wasn't their actual names. It was what Lady heard them calling each other. That ringing in the ears is not a normal thing everyone experiences or a superstition that someone is talking about you. I was 30 when I realized that it is tinnitus. And not normal, even though I've had it since I was around 13. Too loud music. I have worked in a salvage yard specializing in European cars for the last decade. Everyone here calls these very specific type of pliers, saw pliers. And not being well versed in tools, I just assumed that's what they were called. Took me about 5 years to realize that they are calling them saw pliers because they find them in sobs. I never understood, a stitch in time saves 9 inches. I was always like, saves 9 what? Quote, it saves 9 stitches. It means a little preventative maintenance can save you from needing big repairs. Put a stitch in the cloth to strengthen it, and you won't have to mend a tear down the road. I think it clicked in my late 30s. I posted this before, but I had no clue that when you got your tires rotated, they actually moved the tires from one spot to another. I just thought they revved them really fast to see if they were wobbly. There's a Garfield comic from 1983 where Garfield says that he hates designer sweaters. Then he lifts an arm and says, "The lizard chewed a hole in the armpit." It took me until about 2017 to realize that he is referring to the Lacoste crocodile. I have spent basically my entire life referring to every hole that forms in a piece of clothing as being caused by the lizard, but without actually getting the joke. I thought it was just the surreal, absurdist humor that Garfield is known for. I thought that ponies were baby horses till I was like 24. That my childhood hamster did not, in fact, run away. How to use a staple remover. Until I was in my 40s. I'd just use the staple remover to bite the long side of a staple and kind of tear it back through the paper. Then someone showed me how to properly use a staple remover by biting the crimped side of the staple to bend the crimp and kind of straighten out the staple again. Once kind of straightened. Bite the long side of the staple and the staple will back out the same holes it went in without further tearing the paper. That the state Montana is literally the word mountains in Spanish. Didn't realize until I was physically in Montana, staring up at some mountains, and thought, wow, mountains are so pretty. Montanas. Montana. Oh. The rapper Flo Rida is from Florida. That lambs were the same species as sheep. When I was younger I had no idea that New York and Newark were two different places. I kept thinking people saying Newark were trying to say New York, but had a speech impediment or accent, or just didn't know how to pronounce it. You can't have your cake and eat it doesn't mean you can't obtain your cake then eat it. It means you can't still possess your cake after having eaten it.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.